God is not a concept. God is a way of life. I'm coming for you right now. I got to. I said, I was supposed to go upstairs. I've been down here in the studio, but I said, you know what? I'm not going to go to sleep with this word in me, because there's somebody else that can have an appreciation for what I just shared. It's not a concept. It's a way of life. You either believe or you don't. And you have a choice to frame those tears that you're now experiencing with gratitude and hope and expectation that God is still in charge. This is no place for a warrior. This is a place for a warrior. He's checking me, the motivator. And he had me to look at my tears differently. And I'm saying to you, there's something in you. He kept saying that to me. He said, when I was going through some tough times, you brought something out of me. I would listen to you when I'm in a dark place and going through some tough experiences. And he began to cry, and I cried with his tears of gratitude and appreciativeness, that I was able to touch him in spite of what he was going through and is going through with muscular dystrophy, but he has not allowed that to control his life. He said to me, the motivator, God is not a concept. It's a way of life. And whatever area of your life that requires some attention, whatever you are dealing with, whatever the pain, the tragedy, the stuff that life catch you on the blind side, that you didn't see coming, it's a way of life.
So you prove the stars are here and the stars are there. Whatever, can you get there? Does it matter? I just enjoy looking at them. They're beautiful. It doesn't affect me. None of that affects my path through this realm. Whatever the shape is, wherever it's located, the main thing that affects me on my path through this realm is the emotional state that I'm in, the energetic state that I convey. And the most definite part of this whole journey, the only part of it that is absolutely unavoidable, is exiting the realm. Eventually I'm going to die. We're taught to live our lives in fear of that and to do everything we can to avoid that. But it's going to happen. It's going to happen to everybody at some stage. There's no avoiding it. It's just the way it is. You're going to leave this realm. You're going to leave it. You're going to die one day. The question is, how do you want to spend your time in the realm, and how do you want to exit the realm? Are you prepared to allow yourself to be pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed and cowed, walk around being afraid to talk to anybody and have no life here at all because you're scared of the one part of life which is inevitable, which is going to happen to you anyway? Or would you prefer to just exit the realm now before they do that? You know, and I'm not saying commit suicide or anything like that, but I'm just saying stand in your power and allow whatever happens to happen. Because if everybody did that, we wouldn't have to do any of this. You could turn off your television, shut down your smartphone, turn off the internet, the whole would go away. How many people are prepared to do that? And how many people are prepared to allow themselves to be pushed and squashed and squashed and squashed in order to avoid death, when death is the one part of life which is inevitable?
I could have easily faded down the sideline, running with my guy as the quarterback was dropping back to release the ball. But as I'm running and checking my guy, I see my teammate getting beat. My guy who I told in the tunnel, hey man, if you get beat, I got your back. And I knew my teammate probably would have caught the guy if he would have caught the ball, because my teammate, he went on to be a first round, 10 pick, multi-million-dollar guy, went on to play for the Patriots. So I knew he was a pretty talented guy, and he probably would have caught the guy and tackled him. But I told him, hey man, if you get beat, I got your back. And it just so happened, a play unfolded with a little bit over 2 minutes left in the game to where my guy, now he was getting beat. And I'm fading off on my guy, but I see the quarterback, he was releasing the ball to the guy that was beating my teammate. And I said, man, I gotta go. I gotta have his back. And I go up and I roll up and I go to hit this guy to end the game. This tackle probably would have ended the game if I'd have hit him and caught him the right way. If I'd have hit him and caught him how I really wanted to catch him, it probably would have ended the game and I would have made him fumble because I knew the game of football like you guys know the furniture business. I knew it in and out. Like a guy take 2 steps off the line of scrimmage, I could tell you which way he was going. A guy would cut inside, I could tell you it's only about 3 things he can do out of this formation. Like I knew it in and out. And so I knew if I'd have caught him in the right location at the right time, I'd have popped that ball out. But it didn't work like that. I hit him, and as soon as I hit him, it seemed as if every breath in my body left. I lost control of my body. Never happened to me before. Body went completely limp. Seemed as if every breath in my body left. I'm falling to the ground like, man, what's happening? And I black out. As soon as I hit the ground, I black out. Never happened to me before. I black out. I come back to. My teammates run over to me. Hey, Ink, get up, man. Let's rock. Let's go. So I can't. So what do you mean you can't? You always get up. Get up. Let's roll. So I can't move. So there's a shock going from my neck to my toe. I can't feel anything. Shock eventually left and it stayed in my right arm and hand. I remember as I was lying there, they were bringing the spine board out. They put me up on the spine board, and as they're wheeling me off the field, I looked up to the sky and said, surely nothing has happened in this moment that can alter my life. This is what I love to do. They get me over to the ambulance. They said, man, we're going to take you to the hospital, run some CAT scans. We'll bring you back into your room. We'll tell you what's up. I said, all right, cool. They take me in the room. They run CAT scans. They bring me back into another room. And when they put me into the room in my hospital bed, my mother comes in. She kisses me. She prays for me. And as she's going to walk out, doctors rush in from the opposite side as my mother is walking out. And when my mother told me, son, you'll be all right, there was a certain element of peace attached to it. Because I had been with my mother my whole life. Me and my father, our relationship was pretty much a business relationship. Early years, he wasn't there. When I started playing sports, he came along in the picture, but I needed him to get out of my situation, right? And so we had a business relationship. But when my mother said something to me, I've been rocking with my mother since I was 16. Had missed meals with my mother since she was 16, And so when she said it would be okay, I was like, all right, cool. And as she's going to walk out, doctors running in, they say, hey guys, get in here. We got to rush him back to surgery. He's about to die. I said, it's a new ball game. Like I was a part of the football game, but this is a new game. I said, die? I said, yeah, man, you busted up subclavian artery in your chest. You're bleeding internally. Got to rush you back, take that main vein out of your left leg, plug it into your chest in order to save your life. We don't have much time. Next morning, I wake up from recovery. He said, Inky, I got some good news and some bad news. Good news, we saved your life. I said, thank you. Bad news is you got nerve damage in your right shoulder. I said, all right, cool. He said, we got to send you up to the Mayo Clinic, Rochester, Minnesota. I said, all right, cool. He said, but the problem is, you know that dream of going to the NFL? I said, yes, sir. I'm close. He said, strong possibility you probably can never play the game of football another day in your life. I said, no way. I said, I don't know if you know how hard I worked for this. Like, I don't know if you know, I've been working since I was 7 years old. Like, I didn't start out playing football saying, man, I just want to go to the NFL to make it. Yeah, I wanted to go to the NFL to take care of my family, give back to my community. But the way in which I started playing the game, I started playing in the street, and I would be bloody. My mother didn't even sign me up to play. The first white guy I ever met in my life signed me up to play football. A guy riding down the street in a blue pickup truck. Never forget it. My guy, love him to death. Pulling down the street in a blue pickup truck, pulls on the curb, steps out of his truck, walks up in the middle of our game. I'm standing there bloody, tackling football in the street. Guy walks up, Trey Hurst, never forget it. My uncle's on the corner, they're drug dealers, in prison right now. They take off running. My uncle Bobo serving 40 years in a federal penitentiary. He looks back, he said, Inky, don't talk to him. He thinking the guy's the cop, Coach Trey, nicest guy in the world. Walks up, he said, man, would you kids like to play football on grass? I said, man, I would love that. He said, go in the house and get one of your guardians. I ran in the house. My uncle JJ had married into the family. I said, hey, man, it's a guy outside. Will you please come and talk to him? Uncle said, sure. Uncle comes outside. Coach Trey said, listen. He said, I don't even supposed to be over. He said, I brought a kid home. His mom asked me, could I bring him home? I brought him home. He said, I rode down the street. I see these kids playing football in the street. They're bloody. He said, you could bring them across town. I got a lead. Y'all can sign them up. I think it'd be a great opportunity for them. Uncle said, sir, we greatly appreciate it. Hate to tell you, we don't have the money. And I'm standing in front of him because I really want to play. He said, I hate to tell you, but his mother said she definitely doesn't have the money. She's at work at Wendy's right now. I'll never forget that coach looked at my uncle. He said, I tell you what. He said, y'all bring him to the park. So here's the address. He said, not only will I sign that kid up, I'll sign every kid in the street up. They brought us to the park the next day. He signed every last one of us up, and it changed the trajectory of my life. The second person I saw in the hospital after they saved my life, that coach that signed me up to play ball when I was 7 years old, crying on my mother's shoulder. The person my mother called on Christmas when me and my family got robbed. They put a 9mm and a 45 in my face when I was 15 years old. That coach that signed me up to play ball when I was 7 years old. And so what I was telling the doctor was, Doc, I got to give some people a return on their investment. Like, this can't stop right now. Now, I'll never forget, I said to him, I never cheated. He said, I never cheated. I was taught you work for something, the result will be what you want it to be. Like, I never cheated. Like, nobody had to worry about me cutting corners. Like, a coach could give me a workout, I'll go do it. If my teammate would try to cheat, sometimes I'll complete my guy's workout. Like, I never believed in it, right? Because I knew every time I cheated, it was a possibility and an opportunity for me to become weaker. And so I never believed in cheating. I never believed in the mentality behind cutting corners and not facing a challenge. Because I understood if it didn't challenge me, it wouldn't change me. I said, man, send me up to the Mayo. My career can't be over. I worked too hard. And I go up in the Mayo Clinic, and I'll never forget. I walk in the room, and there's 3 doctors. And they come in, and they say, hey, Ink, here's the deal. We're going to cut to the chase. They said, you have torn all the nerves in your brachial plexus. I said, what's that? They said, it's the nerve roots that go from your spine that controls your shoulder, your arm, and your hand. So it goes into your spine like this. You rip them all out. They can't go back in. They said, we hate to tell you, but football career, it's out of you. So your shoulder, your arm, your hand, never be the same again. So here are your surgery options, Ink. We could take a muscle, back of your left leg, plug it into your right arm, possibility weak left leg, weak right arm the rest of it. We could take a nerve out of your left arm, reroute it up to your chest, down. To your right arm, possibility 2 weak arms the rest of your life. We could take a nerve out of your left rib, reroute it up to your chest, down into your right arm, possibility breathing problem, weak right arm the rest of your life. By the way, tell us what you want to do at 8 o'clock in the morning. Next morning, I walked into the office. They said, what option did you choose? I said, no disrespect to you. Cut me where you got to cut me. I guarantee you, if I don't die, I'll be fine. They said, you got to choose an option. I said, no disrespect to you. Cut me where you got to cut me. I guarantee you, if I don't die, I'll be fine. And what I was telling them was, Doc, you got to take my life before you take my drive, man. I'm not a light switch person. Like, I don't turn it on and turn it. Like, I could play you in checkers. I'm going to try to destroy you. Like, I could play you in a game of, little pitch and hold, a little thing. I'm going to try to destroy you. That's just my mentality of just going all in everything that I do. And what I was telling him, you can cut me wherever you got to cut me. If you don't kill me, you will not stop me because I know my mentality and I know the way I'm wired. I don't turn it on and turn it off. But as life would have it, they cut me 6 times down my left eye. 1 time across the left side of my neck, 1 time across the right side, twice through my right ribs, cut out my right pec, bottom of my armpit, bottom of my hand, 350 staples in my body, bandaged me from my neck to my knees. And they come in my room the next day. They said, Inky, we're going to get to know each other really well. You've been in this hospital next 40 or 60 days. On the 3rd day, we were leaving the hospital. And as we're leaving and the doors were opening, he said, you broke a record. How did you do it? He said, nobody has ever gotten out of here in under less than 40 days with a surgery of that magnitude. I said, Doc, I just didn't feel as if I had the right. He said, what are you talking about? I had the right. I said, I just didn't feel as if I had the right to stop. Like, I just didn't feel as if I had the right not to show up and give everything out. Like, I just didn't feel as if I had the right to not press forward. Like, I just felt as if the people that I represent and the people that had invested in me and built the gentleman that you see called Inky, it's a lot of people that go into the, like, when they were out there telling me, man, I admire what you've been through. I admire the place you've gotten to in life. And I told them, I said, there was a lot of people that helped me. And I take those spirits with me every day. Like, Maya Angelou has a quote that says, I come as one, but I stand as 10,000.
40,000 or so specialized cells configured in a way that creates a neural network in the heart. It's their brain-like cells, but they're not in the brain, they're in the heart. And it's actually called the little brain in the heart. What they found, what the scientists discovered, is that these cells think independently of the cranial brain. They feel and they remember. And what that means is every experience that we have, even this one right now, I'm registering this experience in two places. This is a good experience, so it's not a problem. I'm registering in my cranial mind as well as in my heart. But if we were having a trauma, it would still be registered in both places. And if I tried to heal that trauma only through thinking about it or talking from my mind, it might feel incomplete. The healing may feel incomplete. And the reason is because I've only addressed what happened in here. I haven't addressed what happened in here. And we know this intuitively. I did an experiment a few years ago. Every culture I went to and every age group, I asked little kids, I said, where are you sitting right now? Show me where you're sitting. And people say, I'm sitting right here. They say, right here. Or you ask the indigenous people, where do you live? Well, this is my home. And almost instinctively, we know that the heart is the seat. Of our existence, the seat of our being. You don't see them hitting their head, or their arm or something else. So when we talk about heart intelligence, what we're talking about is the ability for these neurons to communicate with the neurons in a way that is meaningful to those neurons. These neurons are linked to a wisdom, to an intelligence that is right for us. Mine is right for me, yours is right for you. And any question that you ask this intelligence, it will answer you in a way that will serve you in that moment. It will never tell you to do anything dangerous or anything that would hurt anyone else. I'll give you a perfect example. I was in Australia over 9/11. Couldn't get back into my own country until the flights were flying again. And when they did fly, I was in Sydney, Australia, and there was a Boeing 747, that's a big plane, with fewer than 20 people that were going to come to the U.S. And there was, at the ticket counter, we were at the gate to board, and the agent said, there's so few people, we're not going to board by boarding rows. You can board this plane if you want to and go to America. And I said, well, you don't sound very encouraging. She says, I don't know what happened in that country. She says, but this plane's going to go there. If you want to go there, I don't know if it's going to happen again. I don't know if it's over, but if you want to get on the plane, get on the plane. And really didn't instill a lot of confidence in me or the other people that were there. I said, hold that thought, just wait a minute. And I stepped around the corner, and there's a technique where you can you touch your heart like this. And when you touch your heart, your awareness will always go to the place where you feel the touch.